A solitary window is crisscrossed with bronze bars, green with age, and below it is 1,000 scratches record the passing days of another visitor that fell foul of the gatehouse guard. Anxiously, you cast your eyes around this filthy prison, searching for a chink in its armor that could lead to your escape. If you have the magic discipline of Psi Surge, no. If you have the magic discipline of Nexus, no. If you possess neither of these skills, I don't have either of them. You pace the cell like a caged lion, cursing your predicament and trying to think of a way to escape. After an hour, you resign yourself to your fate and settle down on your haunches to sleep. The prod of a spear haft wakes you from your slumber. "On your feet!" snarls the brutish sergeant-at-arms, standing over you with his spear poised to strike again. Two soldiers grab you roughly by the collar and shove you through the open cell door into the arms of an escort that has come to take you before the chief magistrate. Your hands and feet are shackled with chains, and you are bundled into a covered wagon waiting beside the south gate. It moves off at breakneck speed, and by the time it reaches its destination, you are covered in bruises. Lose your endurance points, okay? The courthouse of the chief magistrate is a grim gray building, devoid of any decoration or embellishment. Its stark, bare walls serve to remind the towerees of its sober purpose. It is a place where justice is meted out to wrongdoers. Harsh punishments are imposed, floggings and executions take place here every day of the week. All trials are conducted before the magistrate, and his decision is final as there are no juries in Tao. The chief magistrate presides over crimes that are serious enough to warrant the death penalty, and your heart sinks when you learn that he is to sit in judgment of you. You put up quite a struggle, but your shackles prevent you from breaking free of your armed escort. They drag you into the courtroom and throw you face down into an iron cage that stands before the chief magistrate's chair. A bell is struck to signal the arrival of the chief magistrate, and he enters the court surrounded by an entourage of scribes. The bell rings once more, and the scribes say with one voice, "The session is now in hearing." If you have ever visited the city of Veretta, or a hut on the ruined pike in the previous Lone Wolf adventures, well, I've done both. You shake your head in disbelief when you see who is sitting in the chief magistrate's chair. It is Goinen, the sage of Veretta, the man who foretold the dangers of the Chasm of Doom, and helped you find the lore stone of Veretta. "Our stars unite, Lone Wolf," he says, a trace of smile wrinkling his kindly face. "Destiny has decreed that we should meet again." Oh, thank God. Oh, man, because if it was Judge Judy, I'd be screwed. It does occur to me that some of you may not know who Judge Judy is, but, you know, she's an American court judge TV show woman who took no jokes from no one. Anyway. Arrogantly, the sergeant-at-arms presents his case against you, but Chief Magistrate Goinen is unimpressed with his account of your crimes. "Do you not know who it is that you have brought before this court?" he asks. The sergeant looks puzzled, and a thin film of sweat breaks out on his reddening face as he confides, as his confidence begins to crumble. After a long and embarrassing silence, he replies, "No, sir." "This is Lone Wolf, the last Kai Master of Summerlund. Have you not heard of this man?" "Yes, sir," he replies hoarsely, scarcely able to believe what he is hearing. "I order his possessions be restored to him forthwith, and all charges against him be dropped." A bell is rung to signify the end of the hearing, and the courtroom is cleared. You are released from the cage and ushered into the chief magistrate's private chambers, where your equipment is returned to you. Oh, thank God. Oh. "The elder Magi sent word of your coming, Lone Wolf," says Goinen. "They knew of my appointment to the city judiciary when I came to live here 2 years ago. My home, in the halls of learning in Veretta, was destroyed by a fire set by agents of the Dark Lords. Like yourself, I am a sole survivor, the last of my order. The elders asked me to afford you what protection I could, and to help you on your quest for the lore stone of Tao." "Really? Why didn't they mention any of this to me?" Anyway, I've regained my health points. Yay! He leads you to a table, the surface of which is engraved with a huge map of the city. There is a rod of glass. With a rod of glass, he points to the location of the Tower Cauldron. It is in this square of the dragons in the west district of the city. The cauldron is a funnel-shaped hollow with a circular shaft at its base. The shaft descends to the ruins of an ancient city of Zerix, 500 feet below Tahoe. Legend tells us that the lore stone was thrown into the cauldron to prevent the Black Zakan of Vasagonia from capturing it during the Great Cordarium War. The shaft was closed off and has remained sealed for the last 360 years. You ask Gawain if he can order the release of your companion. It has already been done, he replies. I released Baindon into the custody of his former mentor, Chiben, the magician, 3 hours ago. He is with him now at his house on Leech Street. He is quite safe, but you must not delay your quest any further by going there yourself. At dawn, the enemy will be at the gates of the city, and the battle for Tower will have begun. There is only one man who can help now, for there is only one person that can grant you access to the shaft of the cauldron that descends to Zarix. The man is the President Toltuda of Vanari. Come, I will arrange an audience with him immediately. Yay! I just want you guys to know Lone Wolf actually does say that a lot. I'll arrange it with you immediately. Yay! Lone Wolf, stop that. Gawain dispatches a messenger to the Arnorium, the House of the Senate, while members of the governing council have gathered for an emergency assembly called by the president himself. Within the hour, the messenger returns with a furled parchment bearing the presidential seal. He has agreed to hear your plea, Lone Wolf, says Gawain, his eyes scanning the official reply. This news raises your flagging spirits, but the sage seems a little disappointed. I was hoping for a private audience with the president, he says, but in view of your current crisis, I suppose it is the best we can expect. You must appear before the Senate this evening, and state your reasons for wishing to enter the Tower Cauldron. They will consider your request and vote accordingly. Their decision will be final. He hands you the scroll and arranges for his personal carriage to take you to Anarium. As you climb aboard and sink into the plush, upholstered seat, you exchange a farewell wave with Gawain the Sage. May the gods watch over you, he says, and may you live to fulfill your destiny. The great flagstone precinct at the entrance of the Anarium is packed with hundreds of people. Senate officials, soldiers, and citizens crowd the steps that give access to the grand foyer and outer chambers of the hall. You notice that a side entrance is being used exclusively by army scouts who arrive with dispatches and leave with orders for the lookouts hidden in the surrounding hills. You take a calculated gamble and order the carriage driver to draw up at the side entrance. This bold move pays off. Upon seeing your presidential scroll, not only do the guards allow you into Anarium, but you are escorted to the appellate's gallery inside the assembly hall itself. And here we have a picture of the assembly hall. We have people up atop, and we have, I guess, what the senators around the president who sits in a chair with some upraised hand. From your seat in the galley, you stare down at the oval hall, ringed by 12 arches beneath which the senators of Anari sit upon their throne-like chairs of lacquered oak. President Toltuda occupies a seat in the center of the hall and presides over a heated discussion that is raging back and forth. Having heard all sides of the argument, he calls for a vote. The issue is decided by a show of hands. We now come to a quite extraordinary matter, which has been raised by one of our most eminent citizens, says President Toltuda, introducing your appeal to the Senate. He turns to the galley and calls out, Summoning Lord Lone Wolf, please make yourself known to the assembly. You rise from your seat and bow to the senators. Please present your request to us, Lone Wolf, says the president, and a hush descends upon the hall as you explain the purpose of your journey to Tau. When you have finished, the president calls upon the senators to speak. I say we should help the Summerletting, pipes the shrill voice of Senator Zilaris. If he finds the Lore Stone, its power could turn the tide and save Tau from the clutches of the Dark Lord Nag. A murmur of agreement stirs in the hall. I mean, seriously, Nag? That's his name? What is he, an old housewife? Nag, nag. And I say we should refuse to open the cauldron, booms the powerful voice of Senator Chill. I say that if it were not for his presence in our city, we would be spared the attention of the Dark Lords. He is the object of their anger and spite. I say we should give him to them, and in doing so, we will save our city, our country, our people, and ourselves. Really? Because they weren't attacking your city before I came? Gee, that's funny. I thought they were. A surge of support echoes from the arches, and your skin prickles at the thought of what could happen. President Toltuda calls for a vote to decide whether the Senate should allow you to enter the cauldron or use you for a bargaining piece with the Dark Lords. Tensely, you await the result. The votes are cast and counted, and the Senate is split evenly. 6 votes for you, and 6 votes against. The decision now rests with the President himself. He must cast the deciding vote. Oh, crap baskets. So, we got a 50-50 shot. Either he's going to let us, or they're going to give us the Dark Lords on the pretty little basket and bow. Random number generator, don't fail me now. 5 to 9. What is it? What is it? What is it? The bronze beacon of the Inari symbol of law and order is fixed into a plinth of marble and stands beside the President's chair. He moves his finger to a button on the arm of the chair, and all eyes turn to stare at the beacon. There's a flash of ignition, and the jet of red flame roars upwards towards the dome ceiling. "Seize him!" shouts Senator Chill. "Seize Lone Wolf!" Damn you, random number table. Damn you. That's all I have to say. You hate me. If there is a way to screw me over, you will do it every single time. I hate you. Not getting you a Christmas present. Oh gosh. Alright, yeah, so it's a 50-50 shot. If he says yes, then basically you get to go to the Undercity with no problems. Unfortunately, things get complicated now. You know, because being arrested wasn't complicated enough. The President has voted against you, and now the Senate guards are closing on all sides to arrest you. Again. In a single bound, you leave your seat and sprint along the gallery towards an empty staircase. To your right, a guard is rushing to intercept your escape. He is unarmed, but he has a net. What? Did he just carry that around with him? With which he hopes to ensnare you. He casts it at you as you are about to descend the stairs. Pick another number on the random number table. If you have the Magnified Discipline of Hunt Mastery, add 1 to the number you have picked. If you have completed the Lower Circle of Fire, add 2. Okay, so as long as I don't get 0. You hear that number on the table? As long as I don't get 0, I'll be fine. And 1. Oh, you're toying with me now, aren't you? It's like, I'll not get 0, but I'll give you close. Alright, so it's 4 more. You flatten yourself against the floor, and the net passes harmlessly over your head. Before the guard can react, you are back on your feet and running headlong down the stairs. 3 soldiers await you at the bottom of the staircase. They clutch wooden staves in their sweaty hands, ready to beat you senseless the moment you appear. "Get him!" they shout and run forward, clumsy and flat-footed compared to your cat-like strides. Before they can land a blow, you leap among them, striking left and right too quickly for their eyes to follow. They scream and clutch at their wounds as you make your getaway unharmed. Ta-da! What do you guys think was going to happen? I'm the frickin' Kai Lord. You run from the staircase as quickly as you can and follow a corridor that heads towards the front of Of the Anarium. In the distance, you can see an entrance hall teeming with people and 2 soldiers, both armed with halberds, standing on guard with their backs towards you. To your left, there is a window, and you look through to see your carriage parked close to the side of the building. If you wish to escape through the window... Yeah, sure, let's go through a window. The window is bolted shut. If you are determined to escape this way, you will have to risk jumping through a pane of thick glass. Oh. Sure. Why not? They do it in the movies. Escape through the window! You raise your hood and wrap yourself in your Kai cloak to minimize the risk of being cut by broken glass. Leaping feet first, you escape through the window with only a few minor scratches. Lose 1 endurance point. I don't even have to worry about that. But the glass shatters with such a terrific crash that it alerts the soldiers on guard at the side door. They surround the carriage and arrest the driver, forcing you to abandon your hopes of escaping that way. Oh well. Ah, shucks. Using the cover afforded by the crowds, you escape across the precinct that surrounds the Senate House and enter a labyrinth of passages that disappear into the neighborhood known as the Parish of Thieves. However, your escape has not gone completely unnoticed. From a tower of the Anarium, the captain of the Senate Guard has been watching your getaway through his telescope, and he has dispatched a troop of his best men to track you down. On the corner of the dark alley, you hear the sound of a drunken laughter floating up from the battered door of an ale cellar. You turn away, but a sudden tramp of booted feet echoing along the passage behind makes you change your mind.